Trevor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, as you kind of just continue to flesh out your depth here, and specifically at safety, what has DeAndre added to that room to this point in his practice and his transition? And is he a guy who is a candidate to start for you there?
Yeah, I think he's added, obviously, depth, experience, played a lot at Boise, played in the system, obviously, to me at Long Beach Poly when we were together. And just like all the other players, he's creating a great opportunity for himself. Great opportunity for us as a defense to play with multiple different packages and different groups of guys playing together. I would think and consider, and I think we all would, that he'll be in the mix with those guys rotating. Does he start or not? That depends on the game and the practice week, like he does every week for everybody.
Oh,
So Antonio, as coaching the position that's going to cover the tight ends more often probably than other positions, what have you seen that wrinkle in the Zach Hill offense that maybe is different than your first 2 years here in Tempe?
Yeah, no dummy routes. They're live. They're throwing them the ball. So you better stick your guy. But it's been really good for us. I mean, we go against really good tight ends at our conference. It prepares us for the likes of UCLA and others. It's really good. I mean, Curtis Hodges, you don't get no bigger than him. 6'7", 6'8". Nolan Matthews, another big target who are really good route runners, good with catching the ball. So it's really challenging our linebackers in practice and something that we needed here for our group to get better, especially for our opponents.
Michelle.
Going back to DeAndre, Coach, what's it like having him here and in the same fold with you and watching him play? And I know you did that in high school, but are you kind of used to it, or is it special because it's college level now?
No, it's actually fun. My 2 years, my last years at Long Beach Poly, I had to go to fly and watch him play. Scramble from our game on a Friday night to make it a Saturday game. And then the last few years here at ASU, we had to try to watch as much as I could of him before we went out and played the game. Now it's easy. I get to just watch him at practice. So it's nothing like having your son around, obviously. But like any other athlete, I treat him just like the players. When we get home, it's father-son relationship. He knows I'm going to be harder on him than any other athlete on our team. It's always been that way for him. That's the expectation of being a Pierce. But I love it. It's fun watching him compete with his teammates and guys that he played with in high school.
Mike.
Yeah, Coach, with the obviously with the secondary battling with these receivers and young receivers, how do you feel that now that you're past, how do you feel the secondary is looking?
They're good. It's really a lot of competitive battles, especially for our older guys. Chase and Jack and Jordan Clark to get those reps against a Frank Darby, a Porter, and now with the Johnny and add LV in that mix. Every rep is very competitive. You can go back either way. You flip a coin on who's going to win each and every rep, but it's very competitive. Those guys are really eager to face one another in one-on-ones. And then obviously when they catch the ball, you hear the defense going off, and when the offense catches the ball, they're going off. So it's really good, man. It's good to have competition within the team. That makes practice more competitive. That makes us a better team and prepares us for the games on Saturdays.
Trevor.
Coach, you talked about Jack. You were just such a huge figure for him to get here, and obviously the relationship you guys have going back to Cal Poly. Now that he's been here for a year, what opportunities do you think he has just with this senior season? And then can you also talk about Chase's evolution too?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for Jack to showcase who he is. We saw the shell of Jackie Jones last year, 158 pounds wet when he walked in the building, pretty much injured the first 6 weeks of the season. Nobody really saw who he is. And I think now, as we watch practice, as you see him compete, as you see him 30 minutes prior to practice, warming up, catching punts, working on his footwork, just kind of perfecting his craft, really taking that step to the next stage of his career where we want to see him be that all-conference, all-American type player. And that's rubbed off on Chase Lucas. Chase is now a 4-year starter here at ASU, hometown hero. And they kind of feed off of one another. I know they've talked to you about it, but when one guy makes a play, the other guy's yelling, hey, it's your turn. What you going to do? And it makes it really good, not just for them two, but for our whole unit and our defense as a whole.
Oh.
AP, I know that Herm talked a few days ago that he really wants, by the end of this week, to establish the 2 deep, both on offense and on defense for that matter. If you're just looking at the starters on defense, would it be fair to say that maybe defensive end is maybe the only position that you might have some question marks, but the 2 interior positions, back 7 is pretty much set in stone as far as starters?
Yeah, I mean, we got guys that are, obviously penciled in today and went to practice today as starters, and they're still battling and proving themselves each and every practice. But just like you asked me about our secondary earlier, I think it's very similar. When you got Shannon Foreman, Mike Matus, Stanley Lambert, Tyler Johnson, and Mary Johnson, those 5 guys are pretty much going to be our nucleus. And again, it goes to who's the hot hand, who's doing it right. What do we need them for? Certain guys do things better than the others. That's just where they're at this stage in their career. So what we would like to see is those guys just keep battling. Somebody kind of stand out the pack. I think that's the biggest thing. Somebody needs to just say, hey, it's me. Hey, coach, I got you. And we're not there yet, but we're getting close.
Alex.
Hey, Coach. T. Lee got some good praise last week from some of the veteran guys. Is he someone who could maybe step into a role earlier than some people expect?
Yeah. He was brought in for that reason. Obviously, he's an early grad. He was here in the spring before COVID hit us. He's done a great job with Jordan Clark and really competing with Jordan in that nickel spot. You see him on special teams flying around. I expect him to play along with really, Ed Woods and Mason Williams. Those guys should all contribute, but T. Lee has kind of put himself in a position to probably earn a little bit more playing time, yes.
Anybody else? All right.